Let's talk some recruiting. There are a lot of moves happening right now, and I do not want to overlook this. This is the lifeblood of this sport. So let's spend a couple of minutes on this. Oklahoma. I've never been bullied to the point I've been bullied by Oklahoma fans. I respect it, though. This is the kind of bullying I like because it means people are paying attention. We did a recruiting segment last week, and we committed the borderline unpardonable sin of not mentioning Oklahoma, which was a little egregious because they've got the number 7 class in the country. They've got 19 commits, nearly a 92 average player rating. How quickly has this happened? Well, here's how quickly. Since June 1st, they've picked up 15 verbals. They've picked up 9, or just did, in the month of July. Here is the territory that they are flirting with right now. As you look at some of their notable commits, headlined by Jackson Arnold, Elite 11 MVP quarterback, they are on the precipice of doing something Lincoln Riley never did. Now, there's still a little ways to go. Let's see how it pans out. We got to keep the guys committed. We got to land a few more. Lincoln Riley never landed a top 5 class at Oklahoma. He landed some top 10 classes, so he wasn't that far away, but he never landed a top 5 class. There are people around the Oklahoma camp who believe they're about to land a top 5 class. I'm not pushing back on that because they've got a couple of guys crystal balled there that if they do end up becoming Sooners, will probably push them up to top 5 status. There's been some staff turnover without getting into that whole can of worms lately, and there is probably an unanswerable question at this point as to how much impact that's going to have on this class and potential commits moving forward, but I can't know the answer to that. So outside of knowing the answer to that, if I just assume that recruiting will largely maintain its pace out there, this is an answer to a huge question. I mean, when Brent Venables got hired, no one on this show or elsewhere that I heard questioned his coaching acumen or questioned, whether he can coach defense. The 2 questions I had, and they were literally questions, not doubts, is what's the offense going to look like? And I haven't seen that yet. But then the second thing was, how's he going to be able to recruit offensive talent? And there was this kind of addendum to that with A&M and Texas both trending very, very positive in recruiting. Is Oklahoma going to get shut out of Texas too much? And the short answer has been no. They've been able to go pretty much wherever they need to. So right now, as I said, they're sitting 7 in the country. They're still in it for several high-level guys. This could be a top 5 class. If it is, it'll be the highest-rated Oklahoma recruiting class in the modern era. LSU, fresh off a commitment just this afternoon, LSU landed 4-star quarterback Ricky Collins out of Baton Rouge. That's on the heels of landing 5-star receiver Shelton Sampson, also from Baton Rouge. It turns out Louisiana produces a lot of high-level players. And I think an interesting formula could be, what if LSU keeps in-state kids in-state, There's been a lot of Baton Rouge and surrounding area talent go on to win championships at Alabama. Once upon a time, they kept most of those guys home. There is a concerted effort to do that again there. LSU has the number 6 class in the country right now. They're not close to being done. It's been fun to watch this from a distance, really fun. You know why? Because as of July 1st, this class was not ranked inside the top 40. And then, as primetime players tend to do, they made their move. And now LSU is ranked number 6 in the country. Their average player rating 92.13. And so a lot of those folks who were very adamant, I'm talking all caps adamant, that Brian Kelly was in over his head in the SEC, have taken an extended lunch break. No end in sight. I look for them. I look for you guys every day in the comment section. And the keyboard's broken, like that angry panda gif. Just bang it on the table and throw it over your shoulder. They're not coming back. LSU's here to stay. Let me explain something to you. These are shark-infested waters in the SEC. Everyone gets that. Brian Kelly was not taken by surprise when he came to the SEC. The formula for winning, I'm not going to rehash this stuff because I've said it a million times. The formula for winning is the formula for winning. It's not about culture fit. It's not about how you talk. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about the principles that it takes to build a sustained, successful organization, which Brian Kelly has proven himself to be able to do at multiple stops over multiple years and decades at this point. He'll do it there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Any of you planning on making a career out of doubting Brian Kelly at LSU are probably going to be out of business in the not too distant future. So I don't have any doubts about LSU. Never did, for the record, but now we're getting that backed up a little bit. Texas is sitting at number 3 in the country right now. Texas is on fire. Cedric Baxter is the latest addition here. He's a 4-star running back. I don't think that perks your ears up quite as much as this will. He's a 4-star running back from Orlando, Florida. You know why that is significant? That is the highest rated kid out of the state of Florida that the University of Texas has landed in several years. We went back and looked. I saw Andrew Ivins looking back, and he said, I don't know of one that was rated higher. Now, here's the misnomer. The misconception is the Mac Brown syndrome, as I call it, of they don't ever have to leave the state of Texas. Yeah, they do. They really do. If you want to recruit the best product you can possibly put on the field, Texas has got to leave Texas, Georgia's got to leave Georgia, USC's got to leave California, and dare I say, Miami and Florida may even have to leave the state of Florida. The best talent doesn't always neatly fit inside these imaginary geographic lines that we call state lines. So Texas understands that. Steve Sarkisian understands that. They went and got Cedric Baxter. You see some of the other verbals they have. They are number 3 right now, 22 commits. They may push for the number 1 class in the country. I'm going to clear my throat for just a second. They may push for the number 1 class in the country here. Look at the average player rating, 92.18. That's legit. There are only, I think, 3 or 4 teams that are higher rated on the average commit spectrum than Texas. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Jackson Smolik, who was an Elite 11 guy. We got our eyes on him last month now, I think it was, in LA. He decommitted from Tulane today, and producer Jesse gave me some scoop. According to producer Jesse, he likes Penn State. Couple of crystal balls now in there for Penn State. And if he commits to Penn State, let's let it happen first. If he commits to Penn State, are we starting to see James Franklin and Penn State stack quarterback talent? They just brought in Drew Aller. Sean Clifford's kept the spot warm for the greater part of the last decade, literally. So let's just keep an eye on Jackson Smolik. Not much to say about him. He decommitted today. There you see his player profile, 6'2", 200. He's the number 30 quarterback in the cycle for 2023. Crystal balls coming in for Penn State. Let's watch that one play out.